claim it as the only state here. Girl, I got the sugar. Right? I got the sugar. Well, was there ever a state in your life where you didn't have the sugar? Is it possible that you can have help? How often do you say, girl, I can't help? No, because whenever you're claiming conditions, you're claiming illnesses. It's always that, who really? I got low cholesterol. I don't that. You know what I'm saying? I got muscles, right? We don't know. We claim the stuff. We claim. That's how we feed it. That's one way that we do it. We talk about it. We claim it. And whenever we claim it, we ignore all the other possibilities. We don't claim the future nearly as much. And you know why? Because we're always hedging. When you talk about that evil future, when you talk about that desired reality, you hedge. You say, well, I'm trying. Hedge. You don't say, I'm trying to get the sugar. You say, I got the sugar. You see the difference? Well, I'm trying to do better. That's a hedge. When such and such, then it's a hedge. We do not claim the desired reality. Most of us, the people who are masters of this thing do. They claim it. Girl, I'm broke as Job's turkey. I'm a broke joke. I'm a whatever. How do you do it? I'm wealthy beyond measure. Thank you. I think I'm wealthy beyond measure. Right? It doesn't sound right. I want people to think I'm boasting. Right? And then you presume that there's this humility that keeps you. No, it's not. It's fear. It's fear. Okay, so we feed the status quo. Now I'm going to ask you, what could you do to feed your desired reality? What could you do? And I don't want you to put anything on that list that you could do 2 weeks from now. Today, what could you do to feed the desired reality? You can chill. Or you can do little things. You can play on it. My girlfriend who owns a business, really successful entrepreneur, said to me, you're going to have to feed that business every single day. You have to do something for it every single day. I didn't understand what she was saying at the time, it was 6 years ago, but I certainly get it now. She said, if all you do is pray for your business, you have to do something. If all you do is pray for the healed future, that's something. That's very powerful. Why? Because prayer, by its design, is a focusing of your attention. And imagination. You could talk about it. You could claim it. No more hedging. Right? And then the effort. Right? I'm growing this business. This Empower Institute. It's happening. So what am I doing? I'm videotaping the workshop. That's effort. Well, I'm not videotaping. The expert John is videotaping. Because you asked. But I asked him. Right? And his wonderful mother time. Okay? I'm getting on Facebook every day. But before I was like, I don't know, from social media. Okay? Right? The little things. It's not always grandiose. But they're little things. Because they're little ways that you feed the status quo too. They're big ways and they're little ways. Yeah.
Get a word, bargain library.
Yes. All of that. You could write some affirmations. You could whatever.
Feel it.
You could feel it. Yes. There are an infinite number of ways to feed. Now, and here's the trick. One way will lead to the next way. See, life doesn't really care about what the way is. We care about what the way is. Right? But all spirit needs is an indication that we're moving in that direction. There's an old saying that one with God is a majority, or one with life is a majority, or one with spirit is a majority. jargon. That is to say, the minute you commit to it, the entire universe then works to support you in that endeavor. Why? Because life never says no to your thoughts about yourself or your world. Never. It only magnifies it. Life never says no to your thoughts about yourself or your world. It only magnifies it, whatever the thoughts are. So if you think I'm a broke joke, I'm never going to have this, no good, people are mean, life is horrible, this college, blah, 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 you know what? You're going to see it all around you. It will be mirrored for you. And it will reinforce your belief in it. Meanwhile, somebody else is living in the same 2 blocks from you and has a very different reality. Because they have a very different belief structure about themselves and about the world. I'm not talking about religious belief structure. I'm just talking they have a different belief structure. So, this is a beautiful thing. We have to give it effort. Effort. And the tipping point of when that status quo reality is behind you and you have crossed the threshold into the desired reality, you are firmly in there is when more of your energy is in. Literally, you are more present. You cannot make that reality come alive for you if you are absent to it. It will not ever come alive for you if you are absent to it. So you have to literally be present. You cross the threshold when it gets more energy and attention than this other thing. Now, I'm not saying the other thing doesn't get energy and attention. I said this gets more energy and attention. And how does that work? You don't have to be like, well, right now I'm going to give 75% of my energy as soon as I leave from here. Just do the 1 or 2 things. I trust, I'm telling you, you do the 1 or 2 things, you're going to open up the door for 2 or 3 more things. But you're going to open up the door for 3 or 4 or 5 more things. Right? There's a law of process. It happens. Right? Your little girl or your little boy or your whoever, or you did not learn to run overnight. Right? You started by crawling. And crawling was followed by walking, and walking was followed by running. Right? So all I'm saying is crawl. Just try to roll over. Just try to roll over. The normal process of evolutionary growth will kick in. It will. So just take 1 little step. And then another step will reveal itself. And then 2 more steps will reveal itself. And then 3 more, and then somebody will come and he'll be like, this is such a coincidence. I was just, and then here came. Was it a coincidence? Really? You just stepped into the adjacent possible. You just stepped into the adjoining reality that's been waiting. Are you still with me? All right. Okay. You right. So remember that your presence, your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual attention and effort is required to activate the reality you want. So if you don't have it, it's because you are not attending to it and you are not energizing it with your effort. If you do a little, it will bloom. You don't have to orchestrate and tell it how to bloom. It will bloom. These are the dynamics. Remember that life never says no to your thoughts about yourself or your world. It will only grow it. This is what the shamans in Peru meant when they talked about the healed future. So you hear me talking about that term. I should tell you for a brief minute while I close up that I got that term from these Incan shamans when I went to Peru. And what they said was, people always come to us because they're feeling broken. They're feeling pain of some kind. Physically, they're feeling ill or unwell. Emotionally, spiritually, their relationships aren't going well. Right? There's some source of brokenness in their lives. And they come to us at that point. And what the shaman said was, we don't focus on that. Our job as a shaman, our job as a healer, is to track and stalk the healed future. Now, I'm no shaman, and that's not my tradition. But you cannot tell me that that isn't a condition of mastery for our species. People who are able to focus laser-like on the reality that they want. I could use a Christian example and point to Jesus Christ, right? So I could say, okay, I'm not talking about shamanism, say Jesus, right? Everybody else is sitting on the hillside. Yeah, just catch me if I'm wrong. Okay? And there's all these people, it's the multitudes, and it's only a few loaves and a few fishes. And somehow the multitudes get fed. Right? And I'm going to say it's because Jesus was not focused on scarcity. Scarcity had no reality for him. There's no such thing as not having enough. So, there was enough to feed the multitudes. Because he wasn't focused on not having enough. Right? You could give me a tradition. And we will find someone in that tradition who embodies exactly what I'm talking about. They've attained the level of mastery because they have focused, they have a way of focusing almost exclusively on the healed state. Because that is what's real. The brokenness is the illusion. The brokenness is the illusion. You may be bent, you may be stretched out of shape, but you are not broken. The wholeness of life, the wholeness of love is available to and lives within each and every one of us. We have but to claim it. 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 I am whole. I am well. I live in abundance. Claim it. If you don't claim it, it's just potential. When we do this, when we learn how to do this, we become the creators that we've always been. We attain a level of mastery. Right? We work with spiritual alchemy. What is spiritual alchemy? It's simply turning baser energies into higher ones. So we transform our fears into a fulfilled life. We go from being afraid to being fulfilled. That shift, that transformative shift is within each and every one of us. We have exactly what we need right now. The hallway isn't about getting what we don't have. It's about experiencing more fully who and what you are. I think I'm through. I think I'm through right now. I'm through right now. So, I'm thinking there's so much to this that I'm thinking there may be a course. 4-week course, more time, we actually do it and we go through the particulars. Right, we go through the particulars of your mess, so it's an actual transformation process, and we see what we can make happen in a month or two. Literally using your own life and circumstance. And we see, this is where we are on day 1, this is where we are on day 16. Anybody interested? Okay, it's gonna take a little time. Alright. It's gonna take a little time, but we're gonna come out with it. Because, and if you have thoughts or ideas that can make this better, right, if you have other things that it evokes and serves in you, this is a living curriculum. Living curriculum. Right? Nobody holds the secret. We are the secret. So I say let's grow it, let's develop it, and let's see. Let's see. So any insights you have for this, I will take them. I'm open to them. So I want to thank you so much for your time today.